Hi and welcome to Sayuga Solutions training menu. I am currently going to show you how to use the import range function for Google Sheets. I am particularly fond of this because it allows me to reference a sheet that may not be at my immediate disposal and bringing specific columns and rows from that sheet into the sheet I'm working on. Now, you'll notice some information that's already present. I'm actually using information from the sample provided by Google already. Now, to show you how to get that sample, you do equals import range. And when you go to create, you'll see that a sample is displayed right over here along with the general information of the function itself. Now note the following. There is a link. This link is the share link available for this spreadsheet. Notice as well there is a sheet name and there is a sheet range. These three parts end up making the import range. What it does is essentially create a query to call the spreadsheet at the link, looks for the specific location within the spreadsheet where your information is, and it grabs the specific rows and or columns that you are looking to pull in. Now, let's say, for example, let's assume that spreadsheet had information in columns A through Z, but you only want A through D. By having it reference only A through D, it will only grab from those columns and will import that specific range into the sheet that you're working on. One thing to denote on this that is actually interesting is this actually allows you also the opportunity of maintaining this sheet up to date. If you add anything to the source sheet, it will get automatically updated in the sheet that is using the import range. This is because every time you open the sheet, it'll reference the sheet you're working on. It'll reference the sheet it's linked to, grab the most up-to-date information. It'll consistently ping back and forth and maintaining the information up to date. Now, let me show you first where this link is best located. Now, this is a standard share link. You'll notice this due to the fact that it states edit. The easy way to grab it is to go to File, go to Share, then you'll see that there is a link available. Best bet is to use the edit version. The reason being because if you only have view, you'll be requested to do approval. But what you can do is just simply paste that link. All right. So that link allows you to then have access to what you need. Now let me cheat here very quickly. I'm actually gonna do that. Sometimes it takes a little bit to load up. Oh, come on. There we go. Sorry about the delay. Google's running a little bit slow. But you'll see here I'm grabbing column A and column B. This is actually grabbing, you'll see here, referencing from this sheet. From this very sheet that I just grabbed. Alright? Now notice A, B, C, D columns are present. But I only grab columns A and B. Say for example I want to switch that up and I want to do C and D. It'll call it up and it'll bring specifically the C and D sheets regardless of it having the extra columns present in the original data. Now if you remove the numbers, you call the full column. Take note, the more data it pulls, the longer it takes. But at the same time, the data that's being pulled is being kept live. Now let's take note of the following. I'm at C10, D10 over here. Let's go back. A11, B11, C11, D11. Now I have only added it in the original sheet. If I go back to sheet 3, you'll notice it automatically populated. This is good because it means that any sheet that you may be using will automatically update onto here. Now don't forget, this is a reference link. That means the information here is you can use it as a cell reference at any time. But what ends up happening is this will update according to the information present. If I delete anything from the original source data, it will disappear from here. So take note of that whenever you're running any formulas when using import range. Now this is particularly good, say for example, if you're using an advanced filter with say Google Forms entries, and say you want to import into a separate spreadsheet the information from that spreadsheet that holds the Google Forms and sort it for that month's data. I do that in a couple of other projects I have. I will show that in another video, but that would allow you to then always have this updates to that month's data only. Now, let me explain here what's going on. Here, you have the link. I just showed you where to get that link. That link allows you to say which sheet you are referencing. As long as you have the shareable link, you can add it in there and do an import range. Now, you'll see here the sheet 1. That means that I'm referencing what is present in sheet 1. If I change that to sheet 2, it would reference what's available in sheet 2. If I see sheet 3, it'll reference what's in sheet 3. This is important because it needs to know where within the spreadsheet it is looking for the information. It will not be able to grab information properly unless it knows where to look within the spreadsheet. Now the range, like I showed earlier, can be either the actual column designation, which would be, say, if I just did CD, it'll grab the whole column of C and D. If I do C1 through D10, it'll only grab the information between C1 and D10, even if there is information at D11. The range works just like in any other standard cell range reference. So you should be able to edit that accordingly. Now, you'll notice in this case for the sample, just because I'm sure someone is going to ask me about this, I am linking into the import range. This here is the spreadsheet URL, which reference to this cell. We have your B2 and B3, which is the sheet and the range. Now, you don't need to do it this way. You can do a direct equals import range. Do I have the link there still? Yes, I do. Sheet 1. Now, I want you to notice one thing as I'm typing this. Notice that these have separations into text. I'm not just putting in the link. I'm putting the link and I'm making it so that it recognizes it as text. This is because Google uses import range as a query file. So if it does not see it as a text format, it will know what to do with it properly. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that it is stipulated as text by having those particular icons on there, the quotation marks around the link, a comma, and then you have your amalgam of the sheet and the range. Click enter and it should pop up. As always, it takes a little bit depending on how Google ends up deciding to run, but this is particularly simple to use and very versatile. You can use this actually, technically, to link as many spreadsheets as you want. You could have 100 spreadsheets and you want to reference, say, information from only the first 3 rows, columns A through D of those 100 spreadsheets. You can just simply create a import range within a master spreadsheet with all of those and reference that. That concludes the use of import range, how to use it properly with the inclusion of some samples. I'll show the original sample I had up so that way I can go full circle. Let's grab this. This is the import range sample that is used by Google. Sorry about that. Equals. My keyboard doesn't like me. Here we go. And let's change this. A1 MD 21. So Google has a nice little sample that they used, which is just a reference to the World Cup champions from 1930 through 2014. So as you can see, as long as you have the access to the sheet, you can reference it. I don't own that sheet, but I can pull that information. As long as I have the proper link. Thank you for watching. If you got any questions, feel free to comment or email. I will do my best to get back to you ASAP. Bye.